Mardi Gras minnow, Mardi Gras beads on a hook, size 2, saltwater, normal shank. I'm going to start by tying with craft fur for the tail. You don't have to have a whole bunch, and you don't clean it all. You want it to be able to flare a little bit. So I've already tied the thread onto the hook. The reason I don't clean it too much is because I want it to flare. I want the fibers to be able to dance in the water. So soft wrap, tighten it down, tie it all down nice and neat and clean it up. And there we go. Now, the next thing I'm going to tie in is going to be some shiny stuff. I like shiny stuff. Sometimes the fish do. UV crystal flash. About 5 or 6 strands is fine. Don't have to tie any more than that. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. You just want just a little bit of a flash. I don't tie crystal flash like everybody else does, I think. I don't follow the thread and do all that magic. I just tie it down to what I think is about halfway. Then I bend it over and tie it down the other side. I don't get too fancy. And there we go. Crystal flash is in place. It's about the same length as the tail. Now here's the fun part about this particular fly. What we're going to do is we're going to spin the craft fur. And to spin the craft fur, I made a loop. You can barely see it, I know. And I'll take and put that loop all the way to the back of the hook. I'll bring my thread all the way to the front and get it out of the way. To keep my loop open, I'll just hang something there to keep it out of the way. Half hitch, keep my thread from going anywhere. Put it on the cradle, keep it out of the way while I do my magic with the craft fur. Again with the craft fur, about the same amount you used a minute ago. You're not going to clean it up too much. Clean it up too much, you wind up getting rid of more than you really want. You want it to be able to flare out. Okay. Now, made my loop with a thread, dubbing loop. I'm putting in this long, ultra select white craft fur. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread it out. And this is tedious. It's not difficult. It just takes a few seconds to get it all the way you want it. Personally, I like to be able to just gun and go, but in this particular case, take your time, spread it out, get all the long fibers to one side. All the fibers to one side. Spread it out nice and neat, as even as you think you need it. And I like to make mine fairly even because I don't want any bunches after I get done. Okay, so here's what we've got. We've got a brush. It's just starting to form. See the long fibers? What I do is hold right below the fibers and spin the thread. I get it to where it's fairly spun, and then I'll gently let go, and you should be able to see it spin up right there. Alright, so now it's all spun up. I'm going to spin it a few more times. Then to keep it from getting all clumped up where you have to dig it out later. Now, there's different people who have different thoughts on this one. I personally like to pick out the fibers while it's here in the brush form. Other folks will pick it out after it's on the fly. I do both. You see how nice and brushy that is? Bushy. It's everywhere. Got a nice brush there. The joy of a rotary vise. I'm going to just move the vise into place and spin the fibers onto the fly. And I'll pull them back as I go, just because I can. I'll make about a half a turn, I'll pull them back, make a half a turn and pull them back, half a turn and pull them back, and I'll keep doing that until I get all the way up to the eyes. And I realize my vise is wiggling pretty good. I've left a cork underneath it. All right, I'm up the eyes. Under the eye, over the eye, under the eye, and over the eye, and I am just made a figure 8 over the entire eye assembly. Finish up to the front. Here's where you need a little bit of manual dexterity, not a whole lot. You've got to be able to hold it in place while you take your thread and tie it down. A couple of soft loops, clip it, hold it out of the way and tie it down really, really well. Make your head. Half hitch or whip finish, your choice on whip finishing. All right. I like fingernail polish. Fingernail polish, if it's tough enough to last on a woman's fingers all day, it can last on my fly for a few hours. So I put a little dab on the head of the fly. We're almost there. It looks good now, but let's pick out some of the fibers, make it even brushier. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Make it brushier, pull it out, pick out the fibers. And you've got a really bushy mess of lightweight fibers sticking everywhere, which is okay. Sharpie, gold, metallic. I pull the feathers, pull the fibers back, and I color right between the eyes up to the nose, and I go lighter as I go back. Make whatever color you want. I like the gold. Again, sparkly finish. I started this fly out, I was trying to imitate Casey Smart's Minnow. I totally messed it up. But I've had so much success with this fly, I continue to tie it. Except now, because of Carp Man, I now use red eyes instead of my original green. And this is it. This is the whole fly. It is finished and ready to go into the water as soon as the hard as nails dries. Okay, I'm done.